Hi everybody and welcome back. This time around I've got a Brinks 164. This little lotto lock, I suppose it is. I love this color. As soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, I love that color. Gotta have it. Let's get this tensioned. Using a Colbert Instruments ergo turner and what is that? 40 thou? Yep. Here's the, should do the key. Getting ahead of myself. There's the key. Key works. Let's get that tensioner in. And I'm using a CI medium hook, 20 thousandths. Because I don't use this hook very much, so I'm trying to give it a little more mileage. 1 is springy, 2 is springy, 3 is springy, 4 is binding. Click there, a little bit of plug movement. 5 is binding. Click there. 4 is binding. Sorry, 3. Little click. Felt the plug movement there. 4 and 5 are okay. 2 is binding. Little counter rotation, click, heard a bunch of pins drop. 1 is binding. I find the 20 thousandths is a little bit too thick for this keyway, but it works. 4 is binding again. Click, a little bit of core movement. 5 is binding. Click and a little more core movement. 4 is loose. 3 is binding. A little more core movement there, and now we're into a nice falset. 2 is loose. 1 is binding. Got a little plug movement there. I think we're in the middle of a spool. If I can get on it. Yeah, counter rotation. A click. 2 springy. 3 was binding. 4 is springy. 5 is binding again. There, we got it open. There we go. Now, the 164 is listed as an unguttable lock, but I've drilled out the retaining pin and made this one guttable. Here is the stock retaining pin. Where are my tweezers at? And I don't know, I knew that it was an aluminum body padlock, so I thought that it would have an aluminum pin, aluminum retaining pin for the core. It is in fact steel. So I was a little bit surprised by that. And here's some magnets, steel pin. And it wasn't as easy to drill into as I was anticipating, but I got lucky and I made it work. I managed to keep the drill bit pretty well centered, because with the steel I was quite worried that the bit would wander and dig into the aluminum body and then the wheels would fall off, and you know how that goes. But no, it went well. I managed to get the pin out, and I made another shorter retaining pin out of brass rod, and then grubbed the hole for a set screw, or threaded the hole rather, for a set screw. There's that piece of brass rod. Nothing really special about it. And the plug, or the core rather, should slide right out. Except when the actuator comes with it. There's the actuator. So I guess we'll set that aside, and then there's a couple ball bearings. 1 and 2. And the shackle comes right out. So there it is, disassembled. Can't really see in there. You'd have a flashlight. There's the inside. That light is harsh. Wow. Kind of see. There's not much to see in there. But the fun stuff, let's put this up here, is here. Here's the fun stuff. So I assumed, well, when I took this out, I knew that there would be a retaining pin in the back because I could see down in the keyway, I could see a pin that didn't really interact with the tip of the key, or so I thought. I put the key in and I mistakenly thought that that last pin had something to do with plug retention. I don't know what I was thinking. Anyway, I decided to start drilling into the back of the Bible here, thinking I could probably access the spring. If I can take pressure off, or compress the spring and take pressure off that retaining pin, hopefully I can jiggle the pin up into the Bible, which will free the plug. Well, that turned out to be the case. But what I didn't realize, what I should have realized, was the channel. There's a little groove in the plug that retaining pin rides in, so it limits the rotation. You can go from vertical to like 90 degrees past. That's it. And so, long story short, the driver in pin stack 5 fell into that slot when I pulled the plug out, and it was one of those moments where I was like, it was like slow motion. It was like watching a car accident happen in real time. You can't do anything about it. And my brain is saying to me, you shouldn't be doing this. What are you doing? And then I heard the click and I was like, ugh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. So anyway, I managed to recover it by filing the top of the Bible so that I could wiggle that spring out and take the pressure off the driver. Then the driver could fall into the Bible and I could get the plug out. So all's well that ends well, but it turned into a bigger project than I was originally anticipating. Yeah, so enough talking. Let's get this opened. Okay. Put the key in. And this is a bit of a delicate process, so bear with me. I'm going to compress that spring. And let the retaining pin fall. Hopefully, yep, can turn it past the point where it locks. There. So you can see there. So, oh, by the way, I ground out that little groove with a Dremel. And now the plug is turned past that channel. It's also, very importantly, past the plug, the key pin slots. So, with my tweezers in a little lock, this pin won't go flying. So there's the retainer pin. Got that out. It's a piece of brass rod. Put that over here. And then driver 5 doesn't want to come out because that spring is poking through. There we go. Driver 5 is standard. Four is a standard. So is 3. 2 is a tiny little spool. You see the very shallow spooled midsection there. And then 1 is, the plug will move. 1 is also a very shallow spool. There, we got that plug out. Let's set this aside here. There, let's turn this around. There you can see that channel I was talking about. That's where driver 5 dropped in and my heart stopped. The key pins, if I recall correctly, are all standard. I think. Yep. Yeah, nothing particularly special about these. Oh wait, other than, yeah. Oh, I'm thinking of another lock. Yeah, no, there's nothing special about those key pins. Here's a look in the plug. The key pin chambers. There's the actuator on the back of the plug that aligns with this groove in, well, this is the actuator. There's the, I don't know what you call that. Those two fingers align with that channel and turn the plug such. And the scalloped sections on the actuator are asymmetrical. This one is deeper than that one. So this would be the shackle, or sorry, this would be this side of the shackle. And then the long part of the shackle would align here to retain it. Because the ball bearing can't move in as far on the left side, so it won't get past that knob on the bottom of the left side of the shackle. Anyway, sure, familiar with that stuff. Let's, which way are we here? Springs, the springs are all the same, so I'm okay with dumping them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yep. Sorry, they're all the same except for the retention spring for the plug retainer, or the, I keep calling it a plug. The, having trouble with my words today. The cylinder retainer. Come on, springs. This is another reason why I hate dumping the springs out. They get tangled. All right, there we go. There, so we can see inside there. Where can I catch the light? So that last hole is for the retention pin. And then there's the channel for the spring. The rest of it, I mean, it's got these holes in it, but it's not like it's rekeyable. You couldn't even replace the key pins unless you did something like this to get that pin out of the way, and the plug won't rotate far enough to line up with those holes. But that's it for that. The plug, saw that. Here, let's get a close-up of these guys, particularly those tiny little spools there. So 1 and 2 have the spools and the rest are standard. There we go. Brinks 164, unguttable lock, gutted for science. Thanks very much for watching. That's all I've got on this one. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.